So in today's show, we got big news that broke overnight about an executive order which targets and bans THC. Now what makes this interesting is that this is no ordinary executive order. This order is in fact an emergency ban on certain THC products which are being sold at gas stations and convenience stores. But here's the catch, it's only a temporary ban. For now.
Breaking news.
And that breaking news, using emergency action to alter the landscape of a mind-altering substance sold in shops all across greater Cincinnati. Thanks for joining us at 4 o'clock. I'm Lindsay Stone.
And good evening to you. I'm Cherie Palello. Just this afternoon, Governor DeWine announcing that he is now banning the sale of all intoxicating hemp products in Ohio for the next 3 months. Our WLWT News Live's Todd Dykes is live now with what exactly prompted today's decision. And Todd, you've been covering this issue for a long time. What did the governor have to say?
Yeah, this has covered a lot of ground over the course of many months, more than a year, in fact. Cherie, it's no sign that Governor DeWine is not a fan of what's known as intoxicating hemp. He's pointed to examples of hemp products often labeled as containing a legal form of cannabis called Delta 8 that have names like weed tarts and stoner patch dummies. They are items that are not regulated, meaning kids can buy them and get high. That is one reason the governor announced late this afternoon that he's issuing an emergency order. It will require businesses that sell products with Delta 8, including THC-infused beverages, to stop doing so by Tuesday.
Breaking developments tonight, Governor Mike DeWine issuing an emergency ban on what he calls intoxicating hemp products.
Governor Mike DeWine signed an executive order to have intoxicating hemp products such as Delta 9 and Delta 8 removed from store shelves. According to the governor's office, there is no age minimum to buy these. He says it poses a major health risk to kids.
For intoxicating hemp, this product has no restrictions on where it can be sold or who can buy it. Intoxicating hemp has no required regulatory testing at all and is sold in packages enticing to children, many times mimicking the packaging of common candies.
Ohio Poison Control found 90% of Delta 8 and Delta 9 exposures involving kids up to age 12 resulted in an emergency room visit. And about 2/3 of these cases required hospitalization.
Now guys, this is a narrative which we hear over and over and over again from lots of lawmakers in different states. It's all about the kids. These products are getting into the hands of kids. They're poisoning them and we need to regulate it, if not ban it entirely. And that's a big problem because a lot of the adults actually use these products for medical purposes. And who's to say that adults cannot enjoy some of the fancy packaging that they like, some of the retro packaging, some of the old school packaging that may appeal to their inner kid nature. But all that said, I want to show you guys what this doctor actually had to say. But before we do, let's hear a little bit more about this emergency executive order which was signed into force. Check it out.
Now at 5:30, cracking down on THC. Governor Mike DeWine tonight is urging the legislature to pass a bill that would regulate intoxicating hemp. He says it's to protect Ohio children. Thanks for staying with us at 5:30 tonight. I'm Angela Ann.
And I'm Yolanda Harris. Today, a lawmaker introduced a bill to ban intoxicating hemp from being sold at stores across the state. 10 TV political reporter Doug Petcash joins us now in studio to explain what lawmakers on both sides think. So, Doug, what would this bill actually do?
Well, you know, Yolanda, when you go to a store, you might see them selling edible hemp products like gummies with intoxicating levels of THC. A new bill would make selling that illegal, and it would come with criminal penalties.
In his State of the State address in April, Governor Mike DeWine urged the legislature to ban the sale of intoxicating hemp. He said the products are widely unregulated and can be found disguised as candies and gummies. He recently repeated that call to action for lawmakers.
We still have a situation where this hyped up hemp is being sold in gas stations all over the state of Ohio. And you got young kids, there's no age limit. Kids are walking in there and buying this garbage. So the legislature needs to take action.
Tuesday afternoon, Republican State Senator Steve Huffman introduced Senate Bill 326 to ban the sale of the products in Ohio. It defines them as any hemp product containing more than 0.5 milligram of Delta 9 THC per serving or 2 milligrams per package.
We must act quickly to stop the consumer confusion and protect Ohioans from these dangerous, untested products. The longer we wait, the further we fall behind.
Now, it's clear that lawmakers are going after lots of these products, and just to circle back on what I said earlier, a lot of these products may be infringing on trademark, copyright laws, especially when it comes to the type of packaging. Some of them may be infringing on other people's trademark based on the designs. It may look very similar and cause confusion in the mind of the consumers. But that said, I'm not advocating for any of these products to be sold to kids. That's not what I'm saying at all. But in fact, because they think regulation is impossible, they just rather ban everything. But if we were to take alcohol for an example, you could find alcohol at any aisle at any grocery store across the country. There's an entire aisle dedicated to it, all within the view of the kids. So where's the double standards? I think that a little bit of ID verification, age requirements, age restrictions, even putting some of those products behind the counter if you are selling at a convenience store or gas station, then that may help a lot. And that's actually what a lot of these lawmakers say. Now, what I find pretty interesting is that this Republican lawmaker, this is Matt Huffman, and he's going down the road that a lot of these lawmakers go down when they just want to ban everything. But contrary to what he's saying, we're seeing a lot of his Republican colleagues and a wave of common sense actually saying, hey, let's just regulate it, throw some age caps on it, and avoid it getting into the hands of kids, so that way we don't decimate the entire hemp industry. Have a listen.
Republican State Representative Bill Seitz says he thinks the products can be regulated like cigarettes or other harmful items by requiring an age restriction and keeping them behind the counter.
We can do all those things without totally banning the product, because there are many, many gas stations, convenience stores, etc., that are now making a pretty good living selling this stuff.
Senate Minority Leader Nikki Antonio says safety is always a concern for her, but thinks the legislature has to look at what makes the most sense for Ohio.
Given that Ohioans said they definitely wanted recreational marijuana, and so does this even impinge on it? Is it an economic issue because of competition? What is it exactly?
And that's a big point right there, guys, and something that a lot of people have raised in previous videos. For instance, over in California, they have passed a hemp law which actually integrates it into the existing cannabis market, and in so doing, they can tax it. They'll increase their taxes. And a lot of folks are saying, who's even buying hemp or Delta-8 products in a state that has legal rec? And the truth is, you'll be surprised. There are a lot of folks who still prefer those products. It's all about preference and taking away the rights from adults to enjoy and use some of these products simply because they're using kids as an excuse seems a little bit foolhardy to me. Now, I want to dig into this issue a little bit more, show you guys what the doctors are saying, and also show you guys what hemp retailers over in Ohio are saying. But before we do, just a quick reminder, if you're getting value from this video, please do like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And if you want to support us further, join the ICANN VIP Bean Club or just buy us a cup of coffee. And if you happen to be a home gardener, try the ICANN Organics. Use the code LEGAL. It works on the bundle and the beans.
It's a battle he's been fighting now for years. Now Ohio Governor Mike DeWine is wielding his power to keep THC out of the hands of kids.
As News 5's Columbus Bureau reporter Morgan Trow shows us, some of it looked like candy.
Medic 8ED, Nerdy Bears.
For nearly 2 years, Governor Mike DeWine has begged the lawmakers to take action against what he calls intoxicating hemp, low-level THC that can be bought at gas stations and smoke shops, and can look like regular candy. The products aren't regulated and don't have age restrictions.
I'm taking action today to protect Ohio's children.
And after 2 years of nothing, DeWine has taken matters into his own hands, signing an executive order temporarily banning all unregulated products containing intoxicating hemp.
By law, the governor has the authority to declare a consumer product safety emergency if there is reason to believe that a product has been adulterated.
But even if the prohibition is only for a few months, the impact will be immediate.
Now again, like I said, this is technically temporary, but it could be extended. We'll have to wait to see exactly what happens. But in the interim, it's definitely going to shake up the industry, affect a lot of retailers, medical patients, a lot of folks in general, and also just impact the industry as a whole. A lot of the hemp folks down there are really concerned about how this is going to shake things up. And we're going to hear what they have to say in a bit. But let's dig in a little bit more because this has some far-reaching impacts. Check it out.
Lee Sasham, starting next Tuesday, the sale of intoxicating hemp products will be banned in Ohio. That includes things like Delta-8 products and THC-infused beverages. Governor DeWine signed this executive order earlier today declaring a consumer emergency for these products. The order and the ban will last for 90 days. Intoxicating hemp products produce a similar high to recreational marijuana, but they are unregulated in Ohio thanks to a loophole in the law. That has allowed retailers to sell intoxicating products that look like candy in places like gas stations to anyone they want. DeWine says that puts children at risk. He says poison centers in the state have seen surges in reports of accidental exposures to these products involving children.
This is the candy. And this is the intoxicating hemp. Designed clearly to mimic candy. Designed clearly to entice children to consume these.
Once that ban begins Tuesday, it can only stay in effect for 90 days. After that, the legislature will have to decide whether to extend it or let it expire. DeWine said today he's willing to sign a bill that puts similar restrictions on the products that are in place for marijuana. But Lee and Sasha, multiple bills addressing intoxicating hemp right now are stalled in the legislature.
So it's pretty clear that lawmakers are going after a lot of these products and using the kids as an excuse to do so. And what we also have noticed is that since Ohio passed the recreational laws not too long ago, we've seen them sort of claw back. It really feels like they're clawing back a lot of the good that they've done. They allow people to do the home grows. There was talk of the lawmakers trying to reduce the home grow plant limit. There was also talk of increasing the taxes. There's also talk of doubling the amount of herb that they can legally buy so that they can get more taxes. It all seems like a little bit of chaos down there in Ohio. But it's not about what I think, because I want to hear what the actual hemp retailers and people who will be directly affected from this ban have to say. So let's tap in.
His message was loud and clear. He says starting Tuesday, October 14th, that is when the ban officially takes effect. Governor DeWine says this is aimed at keeping more children across Ohio safe. At Rambling House, owner John Lynch makes a variety of non-alcoholic beverages.
There's a blueberry flavor.
But half of his business profits come from selling THC-infused drinks. Lynch is now bracing for impact after Governor DeWine's newly signed statewide intoxicating hemp ban. What is your biggest concern with this ban?
Oh, it'll crush us.
Will you be losing thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars?
Tens of thousands.
Tens of thousands of dollars.
Yeah, we're not big enough yet to where.
But it's still a lot of money.
Yeah, it just creates a cascading effect for us for production and ordering of cans, ordering of supplies.
Governor DeWine says the ban will protect Ohio's youth.
So you guys can see how this can impact, affect, and potentially decimate tons of local businesses, small businesses, and retailers over in Ohio. From the purchasing power that they have when it comes to some of the cans for some of these retailers, the packaging, some of the actual products wholesale, a lot of those, they're going to have to reassess their entire business plan because obviously it's now banned. Now, it's not just folks selling THC seltzers and beverages, but also folks selling all types of hemp-derived products. Check it out.
A statewide push from Ohio's hemp industry. Hemp business owners say they're worried about proposed legislation now moving through the State House. Several of these business owners gathered today in Hilliard, voicing their concerns about what could happen if these bills become law, saying the future of the industry is on the line. 10 TV's Kristen McFarland has more.
As uncertainty grows around hemp legislation here in Ohio, business owners worry possible legislation could lead to millions of dollars lost, job cuts, and even permanent closures. In Ohio, hemp is legal under federal and state law, but Senate Bill 86 could change where hemp products are sold, taking them off the shelves of vape stores, convenience stores, and gas stations, and moving them to existing marijuana dispensaries only.
It's not fair. What they're trying to do is they're trying to take our business from hardworking small Americans.
Operator of Hippie Hut Smoke Shops, Ahmad Khalil, says if the bill is passed, the impact will be detrimental.
Hemp takes up about 40% of our business margins, so profit and all that stuff. If these bills do go through, we've already given out the messages to employees. We will have to do layoffs.
And that's exactly what they're going to have to do because that bill was signed into law via emergency order. So that ban is currently in force. So those layoffs for some of those businesses, they're going to have to send people home. A lot of the folks who need these products for medical purposes are no longer going to be able to get them. It really makes me wonder, do these lawmakers actually have any experience when it comes to the good herb, any of these products, whether they're synthetic or otherwise, or do they just go based based off of what people say. Oh, it's really bad. It's intoxicating. It's really not good. It's getting into the hands of kids. And personally, I think that they haven't. And it's pretty interesting because one of the reporters at the press conference where Governor DeWine actually announced the emergency ban asked him point blank, have you tried recreational herbs since Ohio legalized? And his answer was pretty unsurprising. Have a listen.
Governor, why is it flat out voters approved recreational marijuana? Have you tried it?
No.
Governor.
So that was a flat out no, and a really abrupt no, and a no with no remorse. Nope, I never tried it and I don't plan on doing it. And because of that, they're taking advice from folks like doctors who obviously have a special vested interest in Big Pharma, and they're listening to what they have to say, sort of like this doctor. So let's have a listen.
Dr. Hannah Hayes is the medical director of the Central Ohio Poison Center.
Children who ingest them can experience drowsiness, hallucinations, confusion, loss of consciousness, seizures, and even respiratory failure.
So with people like that saying that there are all these negative side effects, what do you expect them to do? They're obviously going to be brainwashed. Meanwhile, on TV, you see all of these ads from Big Pharma with a list of side effects that are longer than your Walgreens receipt. Make it make sense. Now, like I said earlier in the show, some of these folks, they actually do implement age restrictions, and a lot of the smoke shops are not, in fact, selling to kids, despite what lawmakers want you to think. And that's what one of these retailers actually pointed out point blank. Have a listen.
The ban goes into effect on October 14th. Stores that continue to sell intoxicating hemp will be fined $500 a day. Anthony Carter is the general manager of Simply Food in downtown Cleveland. He spoke with me about how he'll soon have to halt sales on these products.
The big concern is kids getting their hands on these products. How do you prohibit anyone underage buying these products in your store?
When they come in, we have a verification ID system for tobacco sales, alcohol sales, and those items fall under that category. We ID.
He says this executive order will impact the business.
Every little thing affects all the margins and in any store. So when you lose people or policies change, the money changes, and it goes down when you take away certain things. And this is one of those things that would put a hole in a lot of businesses in Cleveland because there's a lot of stores that sell the product.
The ban will last 90 days unless extended by the state's legislature.
So you guys heard it there for yourselves. ID. And I see a lot of people IDing all the time. I go into smoke shops and I get ID'd, and I would like to think that I don't look like a kid. But that being said, you could also go on YouTube and see tons of videos where little youngins are getting really mad because they're not getting sold a blunt. It's just a reality of the situation. You got to ID, and people are IDing. And the truth is, if these kids want to get their hands on these products like they've been doing for decades, they're gonna do it regardless of what the laws are. Just like the criminals, some of these laws only affect law-abiding citizens. Now, the last time I spoke about this issue, there were tons of folks who said, I'm just gonna order my stuff online. I can get it online, it'll still be fine. And that's actually something that one of the reporters actually asked Governor DeWine about. Man, those reporters were on fire. Check it out.
The Farm Act allows for mailing of these type of products.
Not these type of products. Not these type of products.
Well,
it does hemp, but not intoxicating hemp.
Well, it's happening. So,
Well, yes, a lot of things are happening, and that's why we're taking action in regard to this.
But does this do anything about the mailing? Because right now, people are allowed to sell over the internet for under 0.3%. Does this impact mailing?
Well, this is not under 0.03%.
Sure, but it also...
Your product, your hypothetical is not true. This product, if this was being mailed or something similar to it, it's not under that. Clearly, it's not. They're selling it as hallucinogenic. That's what they're doing.
Now, like I said, what's really sad about this whole thing is that a lot of these businesses are not going to be able to survive that 90-day ban, and they're going to be forced to shut down. Just think of it, not being able to make the profits that you need to pay rent, pay business licenses, insurance, all that stuff. It's really difficult.
Aaron explained things like some drinks and gummies are covered by the ban. Essentially anything with less than 0.3% THC that's derived from hemp. He says with businesses ordered to remove all those products, it'll cripple the industry.
When you have a specialty store like this, they're not going to survive. They're going to be forced out of business. Yesterday, they had no idea this was happening, and on the 14th, they're done.
He says he knew something like this was probably in the works. That's why he closed 3 of his stores in Ohio already. He says he also knew that in Harrison, Ohio, the line between Ohio and Indiana is right on this line. That is why he has opened his latest store on this side of the road.
Wow.
So I got as close to Ohio as I could. And
that's crazy.
Stand up for what I believe in.
Aaron says the products often help people sleep or assist with chronic pain, and he doesn't want them to lose that treatment. Governor DeWine says the concern is that these products have an intoxicating effect and they aren't properly regulated by the state.
It is absolutely absurd that a 14-year-old or 13-year-old can walk into a store and buy this stuff.
And that right there is the false narrative that they keep pushing, because in reality, no 12 or 13-year-old is walking into a store and walking out with a smokable hemp product. It just isn't happening. A lot of these responsible business owners don't want to get in any trouble. And the truth is, if they did sell to underage kids and it gets back to them, they can face tons of trouble for that. Now, all that said, this is definitely an issue we're going to keep monitoring, so let us know what you think about all that in the comments down below. And in our next video, you guys would know we're entering yet another day of the federal government shutdown, and that means a lot of shakeup for the cannabis industry. So if you want to find out more about that, check it out. It's pretty crazy and it's coming up right now.